Welcome back to the ADM League, and this is Puddnhead. I am all by my lonesome today, and I am going to be casting this game between two Necromancers, Biblofilter and Einmika, both in Group 2, and I believe this is Week 3's game. First off, in the lower right, playing the red Necromancer, is Einmika, and he is going to start off with a Wispel Amulet and a move to the north. Biblofilter is going to start off with a Meditation Amulet with his main action, and that's going to keep him in the first corner, the starting corner in the upper left is a blue Necromancer. We also see a graveyard from both Necromancers. Biblo's is off to the right, and Einmika's is off to the left, so these graveyards were within a stone's throw of each other, or a boulder's throw anyway. Interesting start, both playing graveyards. Good thing it's not legendary, otherwise one would not have been able to play it. These pretty standard Necromancer openings here. It seems like Einmika's going to have a timing thing with the Wispel Amulet. He needed to save a couple mana for something. Biblo is planning to stay put, it looks like, and just gain a mana advantage by meditating. Both have stuff on their graveyards, and we are off to the deployment phase of round 2. Zombie Brute coming off for Biblofilter in the upper left, and we see a Priest of Abinek coming down for Einmika. Priest of Abinek definitely a lower powered creature here. He's got a specific plan for it, I'm sure. And Zombie Brute, Eternal Servanted, just as you would expect from regular Necromancer play. Bilbo then chooses to use his main action to meditate. And then it is Einmika's action. Let's see what he's going to do here. The Priest of Abinek did not get an Eternal Servant. Probably a decent plan there. Move 2 to the left from this naked Necromancer. Now in between both graveyard zones in the far center from him, near center to Biblo. Biblo, after meditating, will drop some leather gloves, and he is going to end the round at 3 mana. Einmika is at 9 mana, spending his quick cast on... what is it going to be? A Ritual of Kelek to get 3 mana off of this priest here, doing 2 damage to his Priest of Abinek to recoup half of his mana cost. Wending the round at 12 mana. Biblo at 3 mana. I think there's a large creature coming out for Einmika next turn. This Zombie Brute is within striking distance, though, so I'm not sure he wants to be that close. But apparently he does. Both graveyards getting creatures, I guess, put on them here. Einmika at 22 mana right now. Biblo at 13 mana. Getting through this planning phase. We're in the upkeep. I believe the Wispel Amulet has not gone off yet, so Einmika will be at 23 mana after this. Yeah, there he goes, up to 23. Alright. So Necromancer versus Necromancer. We have seen a lot of strange Necromancer this tournament, because when you're facing Necromancer, you know exactly what he is immune to and what he's going to be good at here. Skeletal Knight coming off the graveyard for Biblofilter. So he has a Zombie Brute, Eternal Servant, and a Skeletal Knight. Another Ritual of Kelek coming out from the Einmika Necromancer, putting him up to 26 mana, and that Priest of Abinek is nearly dead. Einmika spends his action on Althea, the Holy Dragon. That is 24 spellbook points for Einmika on the field. Right now, there is a cleric ready to activate it. It looks like Biblo is just going to go hit the Necromancer anyway. Zombie Brute coming in. Rolling 4 attack dice. Gets a 3 damage on the Necromancer. And now Bloodthirsty is active. It is Einmika's initiative here, or his action here. And it seems like he's going to activate this dragon. I don't know why you wouldn't. Yep, there it is. Priest of Emon expends its action as a cleric to activate Alfea. And I was about to ask what they were going to do, knowing that their opponent was a Necromancer. And it looks like Einmika has prepared a Holy Dragon to try and defeat all of the creatures of the opposing Necromancer. Biblofilter doing a meditate and then casting an enchantment on to Einmika. It cannot be a Poison Blood or a Ghoul Rot. General curses are going to be either a Mage Bane, seems most likely, or I don't know. Maybe he's going to use the... can't use the Curse of Weakness. Wouldn't need to. And he's trying to figure out what to do with Alfea this round, I think. I think he's just going to attack the Brute. Or guard, maybe. The Skeletal Knight has a dodge chance. Or it could fly, since Alfea has flying, it could fly up and try to attack the Necromancer, but Alfea's main strength is against non-living creatures. So I believe he is planning to play the creature game here. He does attack the Zombie Brute. Biblofilter does not have enough mana to reanimate his Eternal Servant. It's unlikely the Eternal Servant will die, even with 7 dice. Here goes, generating dice rolls. Getting 0 damage off of that. However, the 4 is a daze condition, so that Zombie Brute will be dazed, and because he has gotten a condition from a light attack, he will take 2 direct damage. There it is, right there. And that will be the end of the round. Bibble at 2 mana, Einmika at 2 mana, and 3 damage. And 1 on Einmika's graveyard, 0 on Biblo's graveyard. Graveyard and a dragon. That is some serious mana investment. 38 mana for that. Alright. Yeah, so I was about to comment what they were going to do knowing that their opponent was a Necromancer. Obviously, none of them are... I'm willing to bet neither of them put Poison Blood or Ghoul Rot in their book. I'm also willing to bet none of them chose to bring anything vampiric, because non-living creatures are kind of the Necromancer thing. We can see here that Einmika has definitely planned to be fighting a lot of non-living creatures by bringing Alfea. That is 24 spellbook points. That is, what is that, 1/6 of his book. That is insane. Biblofilter has 46 cards, Einmika has 39 cards, and we can see how that dragon has taken a toll on his spellbook. But Biblo has also put some out-of-school cards in his book, because 45 is a little bit low. Generally, if you have mostly in-school cards and the usual tricks of a general book, you're about 60 cards. 60 to 65 cards, I think. Maybe 55 to 65 cards. Somewhere in there. So they have both teched out of school significantly. We'll see what gets brought out in this game. Don't think Einmika has gotten anything, brought the thing back off of his graveyard, so it's still the one that he prepared last turn. Which, I mean, he might want to cast it this turn. Or maybe he'll switch it up. Don't know yet. And that Alfea, that could do some serious damage to Biblofilter here. Alfea is much better at taking out smaller creatures, so my guess is that Bibble will not be putting small creatures out here, but trying to get all the benefit he can out of these larger creatures. If we see a Galvanize to get rid of this Daze, or if he's just going to power through it. See if he's going to save 11 mana to reanimate this if he needs to. He does have the Meditation Amulet, so even though he's only at 12 right now, he could be up to 15 with 1 on the graveyard. It is his initiative. The other thing to consider is killing this Priest of Abenek makes it so that this dragon can't activate. So if he can kill the cleric, then the dragon is not something he has to worry about. So my guess is that Einmika is going to start getting some more Priests of Abenek off of this, or maybe even Acolytes of the Bog Queen off of this graveyard here. And the Zombie Brute can't leave this zone because the Necromancer has damage on it. So if he wanted to try and attack this priest, he'd have to either move the Brute or move the priest or move the Necromancer. So we could see a movement spell here from Biblo. Biblo choosing not to put anything on the graveyard. And yes, we do see a Priest of Abenek come out of the graveyard for Einmika. And it becomes the Eternal Servant. So we have an undead cleric now. So the cleric can become an Eternal Servant, and we can always activate the dragon. As long as he saves 6 mana. You can always activate the dragon. Einmika doing quick cast, and Biblofilter revealing Mage Bane. So we quick cast a Demon Hide Armor, which is critical damage barrier. Not a bad move against Zombie Brute here, and a dodgy skeleton. Biblo moving over, choosing to forego the Meditation Amulet, and he is going to Acid Ball the Priest of Abenek. He only needs 3 damage. Only gets 2, 1 corrode and 1 damage. So that Priest of Abenek is still alive and healthy enough to pray to Althea. And that was a decent move by Biblofilter. If he could annihilate the dragon's action this turn by killing that priest, he could definitely have gotten some serious hurt on Einmika. But it did not pan out. Did not pan out. Skeletal Knight moving in, attacking the Necromancer with his 5 dice attack, doing some great damage here. 7 damage. 2 will be absorbed by the Demon Hide Armor, and then he will take a damage barrier hit of 2 damage himself. We've got Einmika is at 9 out of 32 and only has 1 mana remaining. That is serious. Biblofilter still at 4 mana after casting that Acid Ball. Einmika choosing to use his action here. Yeah, trying to figure out what to do with 1 mana. Probably not Ritual of Kelek. Getting that armor on was a good choice. He's in a dangerous position right now, and yes, he has a dragon, but it looks like Biblo, not having the ability to attack a flying dragon, is just going to focus down the Necromancer here. And that might actually work. But if he gets enough armor on, he'll be okay. Necromancer choosing to melee attack the zombie. Nothing going through. And now it is the Zombie Brute's action. He must attack the Necromancer, even though he is dazed. We'll see if the daze prevents Einmika from taking damage. It does not. Rolls 6 dice, getting only 3 damage through because of that Demon Hide Armor, and getting crit back for 2 damage. That Demon Hide Armor has done some serious work this turn. Prevented 4 damage and done 4 damage. Definitely worth the 8 mana. Althea attacking the Zombie Brute. A 4-up daze chance for 2 damage. Or actually, I think it's 3-up. There's a 3-up daze chance to get an automatic 2 damage. That is definitely worth doing. And he gets the daze again. No, he gets a ton of damage, but it's all normal. So he doesn't take, the Zombie Brute doesn't take more than 3 damage this turn. Does get another daze. Vible's going to have to figure out how to save enough mana to keep that Zombie Brute alive here. Or rather, re-alive him. Enchant going down on Biblofilter. I'm going to guess that's a nullify or a brace yourself or something that's going to sustain him for the longer game. And that will be the end of the round. Nothing is dead yet. The Zombie Brute is close, and the Priest of Abinek, the first one, is very close as well. Necromancer has taken 13 damage. Einmika has taken 13 damage out of 32. He is almost at half health. And I think it might be about time to get out of that zone where you have a Skeletal Knight and a Zombie Brute ready to knock you out. One unfortunate thing about Althea is that he cannot act with her first when it is initiative. So he's going to have to use an action to activate her. And so she ends up going last a lot of the time. And so if he's going to kill this Zombie Brute, he's going to have to do it with something other than the dragon. Otherwise, the Zombie Brute's going to get an action before it dies. Preparations are on order here. Lots of preparations going on. Got something going on in the graveyard for Biblo here. Biblo at 12 mana and 2 on the graveyard and Meditation Amulet in play. Einmika at 11 mana, and I believe we are not to the point where he's lost a Dissipate on his Whisperlo yet. So we will look at that. Probably going to be at 12 mana and 1 on the graveyard when we actually start this round. Go. And Biblo asking if Einmika is thinking. Seems like he is. Thinking very hard here. We might just speed this up a little bit. Speed up a little bit. Get it go to the next time when actions are happening here. Lots of thinking going on right now. Got 3 cards out for Einmika. And are we not done? Not in the planning phase yet, guys. Not into the planning phase. Right. Planning. There we go. Deployment happening. So we're going to go back to 2x speed here. And they have both skipped the first quick cast, it looks like. And Mika taking damage from that. Magebane. Magebane doing work. Putting some more armor on. Good choice. Good choice in the first quick cast there. And we will see what... no deploy out from either of them. Biblo sort of broadcasting that he's not going to deploy. And Mika choosing to be tricksy. First action for the priest for Einmika is to activate Althea. Looks like Biblo is actually trying to go through and kill this priest of Abinek. Does not do it. He cannot do that because this zombie brute is bloodthirsty and the Necromancer has damage on him. He does get a miss with the attack, so it's roughly meaningless. I think they figure this out eventually. So, yep, there it is. So he tried to attack the zombie brute. The damage barrier goes off, doing 2 more damage to that brute. Wow, this demon hide armor, it has done 6 damage in 3 attacks. That is crazy. Now we see the other priest come in and is going to guard the Necromancer. Seems like a good move. Eternal Servant Guard is always good. Skeletal Knight might be able to go over and kill this one. Instead, entirely possible that we'll see a guard from Biblo down here. I don't know if he feels safe enough doing that, but he could take at least just 5 dice instead of the Skeletal Knight taking 7, or the Brute taking 7. The Skeletal Knight does have a dodge chance. He's going to move over with the Skeletal Knight and attack the Priest. And the Priest getting annihilated by that Skeletal Knight. Both graveyards are going to get a mana for that. Yep, both graveyards getting mana from that Priest. And there we go. And that is Biblo's action. And we'll see. It seems like it'd be time for Althea to attack the... why would you not attack the Zombie Brute? Because it can be reanimated? It's going to go up and attack the Necromancer. Only getting 2 damage, but also getting a daze on the Necromancer. So that is going to be 4 damage. Alright. Now it is Biblofilter's turn. What is he gonna do? Uses Necromancer, moving down into the zone with the other Necromancer. Now they're just gonna stare at each other. He's gonna guard to keep his Brute alive, probably. And he is gonna be done. Not using his quick cast yet. I wonder if he's setting up for an area of effect attack if his Brute dies or something. I'd like to see a Dispel on this Magebane. This Magebane is doing damage here. Well, he's casting a Messenger of Bimshallah, which is another cleric. Flying cleric, but it's also worth 6 spellbook points. Getting no healing from that messenger. Oh man, that sucks. Taking 1 damage from Magebane and getting 0 healing from messenger. Messenger is a cleric that has a light attack but does not do a condition, so it will not proc Althea's activation here. You see a Pillar of Righteous Flame coming out from Biblo here, annihilating that Priest of Abenek, and there was not enough mana to reanimate it, so that priest is gone. Now we see the Pillar of Light getting in the way of Althea coming in to help this Necromancer out. The Messenger of Bimshallah is going to have to use her action to activate the dragon, and will probably get attacked during the upkeep, unless he chooses to focus on the Necromancer here. Mika at half health. Biblofilter at 4 damage out of 32. Mika with 1 mana on his Necromancer, 2 on the graveyard. Biblo with 3 on the graveyard and 3 on his mage at the end of this round. Graveyards have not been used very much. Very interesting. But they both played graveyards and haven't really been using them. I wonder if... Alright, he is going to use the Pillar of Righteous Flame on the Cleric, Messenger of Bimshallah, rolling 3 dice because Messenger has Aegis. Getting a burn and doing 3 damage. That could eventually kill the Messenger of Bimshallah if he's not careful. If that burn sticks around. Necromancer's not known for their healing abilities. And when I see this Messenger of Bimshallah, I'm thinking, okay, when that dies, we're going to see him deploy the Embalmed and make it into a messenger and eternal servant it to keep him going throughout the whole game. That would be pretty awesome. You might need a little bit more channeling for that. You could also sacrificial altar to keep sacrificing it and returning it. Get some buffs on his Necromancer, do some punching, or buffs on Althea, do some punching. That would be fun. But Einmika needs to get rid of this brute and then survive this skeletal knight. Biblofilter has enough mana to reanimate this guy and servant it again. So he might choose to do some low impact stuff, or low mana cost stuff anyway, this turn, so that he can reanimate that brute if necessary. People are done with planning. Einmika's still thinking pretty hard about this one. We're going to speed this up a little bit and get to the end of the planning stage. They both have something on their graveyards right now. Lots of thinking, lots of planning. We're in the deployment phase, so we'll go back to the normal double speed here. And we got another Priest of Avenant coming out for Einmika, so that in case this messenger dies, he can reactivate Althea the next round. And he does Eternal Servant it. We got a quick cast coming from Einmika here. He is going to take a damage and enchant himself. I wish I could move these guys. They're stacked on top of each other. That Magebane has done a total of 3 or 4 damage so far. Oh, he is not going to quick cast. He has chosen to do something else instead. Alright, so he's giving him his mana and his life back and not actually choosing to quick cast. So quick cast for Demon Hide Armor Destruction. Dissolve. Yeah. And then an attack from the brute. Now not afraid of taking damage here. Getting all 6 damage through because of the piercing 1 from Eternal Servant. And all of a sudden Einmika is in some serious trouble here. 21 out of 32, not enough armor on, and needs some help. Definitely needs some help. He is going to stay in that zone and put an enchantment on. I don't know if I agree with staying in the zone with the pillar. And maybe he's fearing a movement spell from Biblo. Skeletal Knight coming in, attacking the Necromancer here. Probably not going to get 10 damage. Does get 3. So we are sitting at 25 out of 32 right now. The enchantment not getting revealed though. And Biblo has a disconnect at this stage, so I am going to load up the next video and we will continue from the reset. Alright, we are back. Biblo's Necromancer chooses to punch at the Einmika's Necromancer here. Getting, let's see, what is that? 3 damage through with a 4 dice there. And it is now Einmika's turn. We are passing through this turn here. As per the tournament rules, I'm going to pause this for a second. A disconnect is a loss. However, Einmika and Biblo decided to reset the game and continue to play. And now we are going to watch the second half of this. Alright, it is Althea's action here. Biblo grateful that he is allowed to finish the game instead of just getting a loss here. Pillar of Righteous Flame attacks Althea. Does not get a daze off, so Althea is able to do whatever she wants. Going to attack the zombie brute. Biblo at only 5 mana. So reanimating this brute is impossible. Here we go. Brute is dead. Actually taking a stun from Althea and an additional 2 damage if he had survived that. Which of course was not going to happen. Zombie brute is gone. However, Mika is at 28 out of 32. They both get 3 mana on their graveyards. And is Mika going to quick cast? I would get out of this zone if I were him. Mika at 7 mana here. Sacrificial Altar. Huh. Sacrificial Altar. He's going to get a pillar roll to the face here, and this could be the end. It is not the end, but he does get a burn, so if the burn kills him during upkeep, it could be the end. It is also going to be Einmika's initiative, so he might have a way to survive this if he survives the burn. And 2 damage is added from the burn. Game over. Interesting game. Interesting game. I like the idea here with Althea and the Priest of Abenek. I think Biblo reacted very well. I think he reacted very, very well. He tried to kill the priests to keep the dragon out. I think the dragon choosing to attack the Necromancer that one turn was a mistake. The dragon should have attacked the brute, even after it had spent its action. Also, rolling 0 on that heal was so bad. There were some dice issues this game, I think. But at the same time, I think Biblo played very solidly. And Einmika's idea just didn't get moving fast enough. They are... Oh, no, he regrowths. He regrowths. Interesting. So this is still going on. He took up damage from Magebane. Oh, that's right. I don't think he took his damage from Sacrificial Altar. So... the game is in fact over, and I will still continue to talk about it. It's interesting to see what would be on this. Another Priest of Abenek. Let's see if he would have siphoned life there. Yeah, Magebane did some work that game. The regrowth didn't come on soon enough. Looks like Biblo did have a nullify on. He was apparently... he was going to sacrifice Althea to get 8 plus 8 pierce and plus 8 melee, and then flying side kick Biblofilter on the first turn there. That would have been rather hilarious. But the game was in fact over, so it didn't happen. So Necromancer mirror match, when they know they're fighting each other, you saw that they were packing holy spells to fight one another. Very interesting choice. I like the idea of having healing in your book these days as a Necromancer, especially if you know you're against another Necromancer and it is unlikely that they're going to be casting Deathlock on you. That said, now Biblo had prepared a boulder, apparently. which a classic Biblo move. So, anyway, good game. Well played. I enjoyed that one a lot. And congratulations, Biblo. And good luck to Einmika. And thank you all for watching the ADW League. Goodbye.